obviously over the last few weeks, haven't necessarily played the best opponents, but I think the biggest thing for Notre Dame here over, like I said, the last several weeks has been the dominance that they've shown against some of these teams. It started with Navy when they won 34-6, didn't allow a touchdown. Took that into the Virginia game, won 28-3. Obviously without their quarterback, but still one of the most potent offenses in college football this year. Again, didn't allow a touchdown in that game. And then last week against Georgia Tech, 55-0. Obviously, again, not allowing a touchdown. And then today against Stanford, allowed one touchdown on a short field and then another one against another a really good tight end overall. But just a really good showing overall for Notre Dame over the last few weeks. And don't want to bore you guys too much with Notre Dame Stanford talk. I know most of you are here to probably to listen to some college football playoff talk. I know some of you are wondering what's going on. If you're not aware of the way these shows work, I'm on a Notre Dame live stream, and I'm also on the main live stream. So you can kind of check this out, or you can check out another channel's live stream, or obviously not tune in if you don't want to. So, but again, we're going to talk a little bit or mostly about probably the college football playoff today or tonight, I should say. Like I mentioned, most of you don't want to listen to Notre Dame Stanford post-game talk because they took care of business. So obviously a lot of stuff has gone down over the last several weeks, and we can probably start if you back up a few weeks. Michigan State beats Michigan. Chaos kind of goes in, and then Michigan a few weeks after that ends up, skipping over Michigan State, I guess, for lack of a better word. And then obviously, today beating Ohio State, that's going to obviously, put them in the playoff, assuming they beat Iowa next week in the championship game. But, you still have a lot to go. Oregon loses to Utah last week. That eliminates them from the playoff berth. Ohio State, I think, is essentially eliminated from playoff berth unless something crazy happens with their loss today against Michigan. And then, next week you have Alabama and Georgia. That's a big one for Notre Dame fans. Obviously, in this chat, Notre Dame fans need Georgia to win that game if they want to have a chance. Obviously, unless Cincinnati were to lose a game against Houston next week, or again if Michigan were to lose to Iowa, and so on and so forth. So there are definitely some scenarios. That don't necessarily involve Georgia winning, but I think that's the most important. And then, as we're all here watching the remaining seconds of the Oklahoma State game, I would say as a Notre Dame fan and a Notre Dame analyst, Oklahoma winning this game is really important because then they play again next week, and hopefully Oklahoma State's able to get their revenge. But right now with 54 seconds remaining in this game, it's not really looking too hot. So you're looking at Oklahoma State and Baylor next week with the hope that Baylor's able to beat Oklahoma State. So